All right, we got a little bit of a Trump update. We have the loud and screaming declaration of Donald Trump and his people about the $455 million, scratch that, make that $560 million with interest, bond that is due next week. He does not have the money. He went to 30 different places to get this loan, to get a surety bond, and no one will lend him money. So that brings me to one simple piece of logic here. Ladies and gentlemen that are under the impression that he's a billionaire and he's super successful, and here's a better one, that he paid all those banks back. Remember the whole business fraud thing with all the banks, and everyone said everyone got paid back? If everyone got paid back, why aren't they lining up to lend this man money? If he didn't screw over every single bank that he possibly could and piss off his buddies in different countries, why is he having such a problem? Chubb Life did the first one, the cheaper one. The only way he's going to be able to come up with the money for this is going to someone like Vladimir Putin, Oleg Deripaska, or the Crown Prince. That's just the bottom line. If he is such a successful billionaire, number two, why the hell does he have to keep asking everybody for money? When are people going to look at this big situation and go, maybe he's not who we think he is? When is it going to hit you? How long is it going to take for all of this to finally register? And then maybe, just maybe, you'll recognize how gullible you've been. He's a fake. Everything about his life, his existence, his businesses is a show. It is a Trump show. It is the Trump infomercial. That's all it is. The art of the deal that everyone freaked out about, he had no part in writing whatsoever. It was based on a character that the ghostwriter came up with. A character of what if there was this ultra successful businessman. But if you look at the blatant facts, almost every single business he started was shut down or failed horribly. Trump University was proven as a fraud, $25 million. He's not allowed to run a charity because he bought a big picture of himself with the charity money and then put it up on one of his golf courses, among many other very, very illegal things stemming from charities, including stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from a children's charity, a children's cancer charity. This is who this man is. When is it going to sink in that all these legal things that he doesn't want you to see, all the evidence that made 4 different grand juries that saw the evidence say guilty beyond reasonable doubt, 150% guilty as hell? That is what every single one of them had to come up with after a preponderance of evidence showing the things that you and I have never seen, that most of the politicians that are spewing the bullshit have never seen. But you know what we do have access to? Indictments, certain amounts of the evidence, and it should be enough to cast doubt on things he was saying. If you give a shit about this country at all, do yourselves a favor, do this country a favor. Take 10 minutes out and research things that you've been bitching about forever that makes you the most angry, and find out the facts. And if you really believe that the reason you should back this man is because he's just like you and he's a successful businessman that built all this stuff with a $1 million loan from his dad, if you're in that tight of a bubble, you may be hopeless. Because I don't know how much evidence you need to actually change your freaking mind, which is a you problem, not an us problem. You know, us, US, I'm the first one who thought about it. I'm genius. I'm just priming the pump. There's another one. This is a guy who tried to trademark the term, "you're fired." He tried to trademark it like he invented it. If this guy wasn't a name, you had no idea who he was, and he showed up spewing the same bullshit at your front door, would you invite him in for a meal? Would you sit him down next to your daughters? Would you let him have the keys to your car, the keys to your company, and say, I know you can do it. You told me you can. Would you do any of that? No, you would not. And if you say you would, you're fucking full of crap. Because if someone came out spewing the crap that he's spewed since day one without a fake dollar bill in front of him and fake gold nameplates, I got news for you. He can't come up with the 550 million with interest because he doesn't have it. He's not a freaking billionaire. 30 people who know him very well that supposedly never got screwed over by him because he says so. Do a little digging. Because I'll tell you what, that $58 million that the court-appointed monitor noticed during this court trial, that he took from a shell company and paid a shell company, took from the super PAC and paid the super PAC, all right, paid the shell company out of Chicago. You know who owned that shell company? He did. He embezzled $58 million. Okay, that was from a lawsuit with Deutsche Bank because he screwed them over. These banks didn't get paid. If they did, they would give him the $450 million. Get that through your damn heads. He never paid them. Just like he didn't pay his employees, just like he didn't pay the small businesses every day of his professional career. And if you don't believe it, you think it's a hoax, do some freaking research. I guarantee you there's more proof than non-proof. Because it's a fact. Period. If you give a crap about this country, if you dare pretend that you're a patriot or you're doing this to country first, you're not acting like it. To you, it's party first. Not even party first. Trump first. Because real Republicans aren't backing Trump. And if you pay attention, you'll notice that too. Let's start looking at this country and all the bullshit going on behind the scenes for what it is. If you care about the country, there's one choice in this election. Because if you make the wrong choice, there's not going to be another choice. That's just a fact. And if you don't believe me, listen to his own words. He's told you. You're just not listening. So be diligent, stay educated, and be kind. We are all in this together, and we all need to recognize one very, very simple thing. If our true intention is to put America first, if our true intention is to protect our democracy for our children and protect freedoms that we pretend to fight for so much, we need to start actually doing just that. We need to open our mind enough to recognize the past is the past. Let's start fresh. If you don't want to believe you've been swindled, then don't. But we need to recognize it's important enough when people are running for office to find out facts before giving someone who could be a danger to our democracy the power. Period. Not a political statement, a logical one. And if you don't agree with that, in 4 years we could talk about it again. Take care.